Hi everyone, this is Zen again, and standing right here in the YYC HQ, reporting to you the latest breaking news again. Now finally, after a long wait, we have the new SST model. It was just today the Royal Malaysian Customs has published the proposed new SST model. So what is this new SST all about? Let me bring you through. Now, first of all, in this new SST, the new sales and service tax, who is subject to sales tax? Who is subject to service tax? Now, for sales tax, if you are a local manufacturer of taxable goods, or if you are an importer of goods, you will be subject to sales tax. As for service tax, if you ever provide prescribed taxable service, you will be subject to service tax. But what about the threshold? Now, previously, the threshold for sales tax and service tax are very different. But right now, in this new SST model, the threshold is exactly the same like GST, 500,000. That means if you ever make any taxable goods of more than 500,000, or if you provide taxable service of more than 500,000, you will need to be registered for sales tax and service tax. Now, but what about the sales tax rate? Would the sales tax rate be very different than the old sales tax rate? No, it's exactly the same, 10% as the general rate for sales tax. But of course, there is a reduced rate of 5% for certain goods. And not forgetting, there is also some goods exempted from sales tax. And the service tax, what about the service tax rate? It's also same as the previous one, 6% service tax rate. Not forgetting your credit card. Your credit card gained for your credit card at 25 ringgit per credit card, be it principal or supplementary, 25 ringgit per card per year. Now next, let's look at the definition. Now if we look at the definition of manufacturing, which is subject to sales tax. Now sales tax is applicable to manufacturer of goods. So what is manufacturing? It's defined again in this new SST model, and it says manufacturing means conversion of materials either manually or mechanically, right, into a new product by either changing the size, the shape, composition, nature, or quality, including assembly of parts into a machinery or a new product. That is manufacturing. What about service? What kind of services would be called as prescribed taxable services? Now, it's not very different from the old service tax. Things like restaurant, professional services like accounting service, auditing, these are prescribed services, including hotel, car repair workshops. These are prescribed taxable services. But if you want to look at the full list of the prescribed taxable service, please download a copy of this proposed SST model and have a look at it. Now, we also need to look at the taxable period. Now, in SST, the taxable period is not like GST, where it is either 1 month or every 3 months. In SST, the taxable period is every 2 months. So, every 2 months could be January, February as 2 months. It could also be February and March as the 2-month taxable period, right? So if you know that that is your taxable period, you have to understand that the last day to pay up your sales tax or service tax is not later than the last day of the month following the end of your taxable period. And that is the same as your GST, last day of the next month. If you ever make a late payment for your sales tax or service tax, what would the penalty like? 40% is the maximum penalty if you ever make late payment for your sales tax and service tax. Not just the late payment penalty is important. If you ever evade your sales tax or service tax, for the first offense, for evasion of sales tax or service tax, the penalty can be up to 20 times of the tax evaded. And if you repeat the offense again, it could be up to 40 times of your evaded tax. So be very careful with this. All right.